Hi, and welcome to KET's News Quiz. I'm your host, Kelsey Starks. Did you take a moment to honor veterans in your family or school this week? November 11th was Veterans Day, but it's never too late to thank the heroes who serve our country. Now, let's get focused on the quiz, starting with today's challenge question. What word is commonly used to describe a meat-eating animal? These creatures often have sharp teeth and claws and are likely predators that hunt their prey. Can you think of it? What word is commonly used to describe a meat-eating animal? We'll have that answer for you after the news. Topping our news today, while we didn't vote here in Kentucky, off-year elections were held in states across the United States. Off-year elections are held in years when there is no presidential election or regular elections for U.S. representatives. One of the big elections was for New York City's mayor. 34-year-old Zohran Mamdani will be the youngest mayor to hold this position in over 100 years and the first Muslim. Virginia and New Jersey both elected governors. Abigail Spanberger will be the first woman to hold that office in Virginia. Mikey Sherrill is just the second woman elected to the position in New Jersey. And across the country, Californians voted to approve new congressional district boundaries. The new district lines were drawn with the goal of getting more U.S. congressional seats for Democrats in California. Redistricting to favor one political party or another is called gerrymandering. Officials in Texas have recently changed their district maps to favor Republicans. World leaders are gathering in Brazil to talk about climate change. The United Nations Climate Summit is happening in Belém, Brazil. Brazil is the largest country in South America and the world's fifth largest country by area. Belém is a city on the edge of the Amazon rainforest. The Amazon rainforest spans 9 countries. More than half of it is in Brazil. By hosting the climate negotiations there, Brazil wants to highlight the importance of protecting this key ecosystem. The Amazon rainforest is the world's largest rainforest. It's nearly twice the size of India. It holds about 20% of the world's freshwater reserves and is home to diverse plants and animals. Warming temperatures and deforestation have impacted the Amazon's forest cover. In Belém, leaders will discuss new plans to fight climate change. Time now for the first part of today's quiz. Questions 1 and 2 are about the recent elections. Question 1. Virginians elected their first woman, A, governor, B, representative, or C, mayor. Question 2. Redistricting was a major topic on the ballot in A, Kentucky, B, Mexico, or C, California. Questions 3 and 4 are about the United Nations meeting. Question 3. The world's largest rainforest is located in A, India, B, South America, or C, Greenland. And question 4. The world leaders are meeting to discuss A, peace in the Middle East, B, space travel, or C, climate change. Back to the news. A former vice president of the United States has died. Dick Cheney died last week at the age of 84. He served father and son presidents. He was Secretary of Defense during the Persian Gulf War under President George H.W. Bush, and then he served as vice president under Bush's son, President George W. Bush, for 2 terms. As vice president from 2001 to 2009, he was a key political figure during the September 11th attacks and the Iraq War that followed. He began his career in the White House in the 70s when he was the youngest ever chief of staff at age 34. China has successfully launched 3 astronauts and 4 mice to their orbiting space station. The spaceship docked with the country's space station, breaking the country's record speed. The crew plans to stay at the space station for about 6 months, conducting 27 scientific experiments. This is the first time China has sent mice in orbit. They plan to study their behavior and weightlessness in space. China says they have a goal to send an astronaut to the moon by 2030. In Kenya, doctors are using bees to sting patients on purpose. The experimental bee venom therapy is giving patients in Kenya an alternative treatment to some very specific ailments. Doctors say a bee sting in a specific area can trigger an internal immune response, allowing the body to respond to the venom from the bee sting and to release antibodies that can sometimes relieve specific pain points. Doctors warn it is still an experimental treatment and experts are still studying the risks. Think about those stories as we head into the second part of today's quiz. Question 5 is about the former vice president. Dick Cheney served under President A. George H.W. Bush, B. George W. Bush, or C. both A and B. Question 6 is in orbit. The country that sent astronauts and mice to space is A. China, B. Russia, or C. the United States. And question 7 is about the alternative medicine. The experimental therapy uses venom from A. snakes, B. spiders, or C. bees. In other news, a 19th century Spanish architect's masterpiece is now the world's tallest church. Construction on the Sagrada Familia, or Holy Family Basilica, began in 1882 in Barcelona, Spain. A basilica is a church that has been recognized by the Pope for its historic and architectural significance. This one was designed by Antoni Gaudí, who oversaw a portion of its construction. Unfortunately, Gaudí died before his work was finished. Builders recently added a portion of the central tower, making the Sagrada Familia 534 feet high. That breaks the record for the world's tallest church. When fully built, that central tower will reach 564 feet. The building should be completed in 2026, 100 years after Antoni Gaudí's death. Back in the U.S., the New England Aquarium has created a special island for aging penguins. Most of these penguins are over 30 years old. Like elderly humans, they face health problems. They aren't as agile as younger penguins, and some have vision troubles, and they can't move as fast as their grandkids. The island includes flatter terrain than the main penguin habitat. A carpeted path leads to the water, and a stand was installed to help them hop out of the water. With that and attention from specialized caregivers, they are expected to live longer, healthier lives. And back to Europe, where Switzerland's government is asking for a shout out from the United Nations. The Swiss would like the UN to add yodeling to its outstanding cultural heritage list. The list includes ceremonies passed from generation to generation, traditions like stone building, and even some foods. So, Switzerland believes their art of yodeling is worth a mention. What started as a form of communication between mountain herders and villages is now a form of folk music and cultural tradition. Now here's the final part of today's quiz. Question 8 is history that's still under construction. The Sagrada Familia is a museum, B, castle, or C, basilica. The creatures in question 9 are living longer. The altered habitat at the aquarium was created for older A, penguins, B, polar bears, or C, chimpanzees. And question 10 wants a shout out. The country that wants yodeling added to the cultural list is A, Austria, B, Switzerland, or C, Germany? Time now to take a little break and find out more of your opinions about those inventions that you would create. Jordan is a 5th grader at St. Vincent de Paul School in Indiana and wants to create a safe house. I would make a house that can go underground. So if you are sleeping and there's a tornado, you can stay in bed and just press a button and you go underground. This protective system could save so many lives. 6th grader Jackson from Charlestown Middle School, also in Indiana, wants some help finding footwear. The invention would be called the Sock Finder 2000 and would look through your laundry and other clothes to find socks for you. My kids could use that one. Ellie is in the 4th grade at Murray Middle School in Murray, Kentucky. Ellie has an idea for our canine friends. I would like to have a machine for dogs. There would be a button that smells like dog treats, so when they press it with their nose, a soft hand would come down and pet them. The other button would smell like squirrels, and when they press it, a random stuffed toy pops out. Okay. And Felix is a 6th grader at St. Thomas More Catholic School in Minnesota with another idea for dogs. I would invent a robotic collar for dogs. The collar would translate the dog's barks or whines into words so that you would know what the dog needed or was feeling at the time. Dogs deserve the best. I agree. You all have some great ideas, and we hope you can bring some of those inventions to life. We could use them. But now we have to move on to our next opinion question. Here it is. What is your favorite holiday tradition? Now, this does not have to be a Thanksgiving or Christmas tradition. This can be about any special occasions you choose. Give us lots of details. We want to know all about it. What is your favorite holiday tradition, and why is it so special to you? Send your opinions to us via email at newsquiz@ket.org or use the form at ket.org/newsquiz. Be sure to include your name, grade, school, and teacher's name in your response. Okay, did you feel challenged by our challenge question? If you thought about creatures like a tiger or maybe a T-Rex, you probably came up with the word carnivore, which is the answer. Carnivores are meat-eating animals. You can see an animatronic version of a carnivorous T-Rex at the Natural History Museum in London, England. This guy may not look so tough in his Christmas sweater, though. It's all part of the museum's Christmas theme. Museum visitors can get scarves and socks in the same design or even a matching sweater for their canine friends. And here are the rest of today's answers. The answer to question 1 is A. Virginians elected their first woman governor. The answer to question 2 is C. California voted on the redistricting issue. The answer to question 3 is B. South America is home to the world's largest rainforest, the Amazon. The answer to question 4 is C. Climate change is being discussed at the United Nations meeting in Brazil. The answer to question 5 is C again. Dick Cheney served under both presidents, George H.W. and George W. Bush. The answer to question 6 is A. China sent astronauts and mice to space. The answer to question 7 is C. Bee venom is being used as an experimental therapy. The answer to question 8 is also C. The Sagrada Familia is a basilica. The answer to question 9 is A. Older penguins are using the updated habitat. And the answer to question 10 is B. Switzerland is asking the UN to recognize yodeling. Last but not least today, a wildlife park in the United Kingdom is celebrating baby Marcus, an endangered rare white rhino calf that was born at the zoo. Marcus is just one of 5 white rhinos born in Europe this year. White rhinos are now the most common of the 5 rhinoceros species. That's it for us today. We'll see you here again next week for more News Quiz. Bye.